95% of AI pilots fail. $1.5 trillion gone. In the next 6 minutes, the 3-word reason why, and the exact framework the winning 5% use instead.
Globally, we are spending something like $1.5 trillion on AI, but, and this is wild, according to brand new data from MIT, 95% of generative AI pilots are yielding absolutely zero measurable financial return.
Yeah, zero. I mean, nothing on the P&L at all. It is just a staggering disconnect between investment and reality.
It really is. So welcome to your custom deep dive into the AI implementation paradox. We're pulling from 2025 and 2026 research from MIT, RAND, and Wharton to uncover, exactly why these projects fail.
And, well, how you can actually ensure your own initiatives succeed instead of just throwing money away.
Right. Because looking at that $1.5 trillion completely wasted, okay, let's unpack this. Why is the failure rate so massive?
Well, to understand it, we first have to shatter the illusion of what AI actually does to our workloads.
Yeah.
It really comes down to something called the Cowen Paradox.
The Cowen Paradox, I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
So it's based on a study of household appliances from the 80s. When washing machines and vacuums became standard, they didn't actually reduce the total hours spent on housework.
Oh, let me guess. They just raised the standard of cleanliness.
Exactly. They just drastically raised the baseline. And AI is doing the exact same thing to businesses right now. Buying AI doesn't mean you do less work. It just means your competitors are using those exact same tools to, raise the baseline of output.
Okay, so if you're just buying an AI agent to somehow fix a messy, inefficient business, it's like dropping a Ferrari engine into a rusted go-kart. The frame is just going to snap.
That is a perfect analogy.
But wait, I have to push back a little here. Shouldn't a highly advanced, smart AI just fix our bad processes automatically?
Well, what's fascinating here is a concept called integration debt. AI doesn't fix a broken workflow. Remember your rusted go-kart? In the digital world, that go-kart is a company's messy data lakes and disconnected APIs. If your legacy systems are siloed, the AI actually amplifies those underlying errors at a massive scale.
Wait, really?
Yeah, up to 17.2 times, according to the research.
Oh, wow. Because the AI is operating at lightning speed, right? So if it's feeding on bad legacy data, it doesn't just make one mistake. It automates that mistake thousands of times a minute across your entire system.
Precisely. That is exactly why the RAND Corporation data shows that 84% of these project failures aren't even technological. They're structural and leadership issues.
Wow, 84%. So if the giant enterprises are paralyzed by all this structural debt, who's actually getting it right?
Well, the sources show it's surprisingly the smaller, agile businesses. About 15 to 20% of SMBs are achieving rapid ROI right now.
Okay, how are they doing that?
They're doing it by following the 90-10 rule. They buy 90% of their software stack off the shelf, and they only custom build the 10% connection layer.
So that 10% is essentially just custom API hooks and routing logic that perfectly strings those off-the-shelf tools together.
Exactly. For their specific needs.
There is a wild case study from SaaStraa highlighting this. They completely restructured their go-to-market mechanics, replacing a traditional 10-person sales team with just 1.2 human managers.
Right, and those managers oversee a swarm of 20 specialized AI agents. They generated $4.8 million in pipeline.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. How does a small team actually manage 20 autonomous agents without an army of expensive engineers?
Well, technically speaking, it works because that custom 10% connection layer we just talked about handles the orchestration.
Okay.
The agents are programmed to communicate with each other, and they only flag the human managers when an exception occurs.
Oh, that makes sense.
But operationally, to keep this lean system from running off the rails financially, these companies rely on a fractional chief AI officer, or FCAIO.
Ah, I see. So instead of paying a massive salary for a full-time executive, they outsource the strategy.
Right. The FCAI enforces strict lag metrics, hard financial targets measured at 90 and 180 days. This oversight ensures the orchestrated agents are actually generating ROI.
It prevents the company from just buying AI for the sake of AI.
Exactly.
This lean, agent-driven approach is fundamentally redefining what enterprise software even means as we look at 2026.
Oh, totally. We are rapidly shifting from the single-prompt chatbots of the past to autonomous agentic AI. We're seeing platforms like LangGraph 1.0 driving this.
And LangGraph allows agents to loop through complex tasks, self-correct their own errors, and hand off data to one another continuously in the background, right?
Yes. Rather than just waiting for a human to type a prompt, AI is no longer just a tool for a department. It's acting as the department itself.
So what does this all mean? For you listening, it means before you buy anything, you have to pass a pre-flight checklist. You need radically clean data to avoid that 17.2 times error amplification, and you need strict P&L targets.
Precisely. You can't just bolt new software onto old problems. True AI success requires fundamentally resetting your workflows and actively redesigning the work itself.
Which brings us to a final, slightly terrifying thought for you to chew on. The sources warn that 43% of leaders are seeing their workforces lose their edge without active practice.
Yeah, skill atrophy. It makes perfect sense, honestly. If human labor is entirely repurposed merely to supervise AI agents executing top-of-funnel tasks, the ground-level practice just disappears.
Exactly. What happens to our foundational industry skills in 5 years? When no human has actually done the basic hands-on work, do we even know how to drive the business anymore? Or are we all just sitting in a rusted go-kart, hoping the Ferrari engine knows the way?
So, where does your business actually land? 80% failure pattern or 20% winner stack? Take the free AI Audit quiz. Links in the description. 5 minutes, and you'll know which side you're on. Episode 2 drops tomorrow. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it.